The Gods Must Be Crazy, the story of Cupid and Psyche. This story was written down by a Roman writer, but it's probably based on Greek sources. In this version, we've used the Greek names for the gods except one, Cupid. Most people know Cupid as the archer of love. In this myth, a beautiful young woman named Psyche gets tangled up in a web of intrigue created by a jealous goddess, Aphrodite, and her son Cupid. Before the story ends, Cupid's famous arrows will come into play, along with some nice ants, mean sheep with golden wool, and a box that easily could be nicknamed Pandora.
Welcome to Mount Olympus. My name is Zeus, and I'm going to be your host today. As top god here, I can assure you that we gods are very, very powerful. But we've also got our share of quirks. Some of us have been known to be silly, angry, or even downright jealous of you humans.
Not me. No human could ever be as beautiful and popular as I am. And if anyone ever tried, they'd be in big trouble.
See what I mean? Now, today, I want to tell you the story of a young woman named Psyche who had the sad luck to be born more beautiful.
What?
Sorry, I meant almost as beautiful as Aphrodite here. It's a story with lots of twists and turns, so stick close with me. When Psyche was born, her parents couldn't believe what a cute baby she was. Later on, as she grew up, everyone admired Psyche's amazing beauty. Everyone, that is, except her sisters.
What's she got that I haven't got? Why should so many men have crushes on her when clearly I'm more and elegant?
And what about me? I don't deserve to be in the shadows of our little sister either. What makes her think she's so great?
But Psyche didn't have a swelled head from all the attention. When suitors came from all over Greece to ask her to marry them, she could hardly be bothered.
Do these guys always have to follow me? Wherever I go, I can't even go down to the well without being followed by 10 of them. I wish they'd go away.
Aphrodite couldn't have agreed more with Psyche's wish. She knew the men following Psyche had forgotten about her and her need for worship.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a human who's competing with the gods. Where's that son of mine?
I'm right here, Mom. May I say that you look stunning today?
Don't try to butter me up. I've got a job for you. Shoot one of your little magic arrows into Psyche and make her fall in love with a tree or a rock or a skunk. That'll teach her a lesson.
Anything you say, Mom. I'll be right back in 2 shakes of Pegasus's tail.
But when the winged archer flew into Psyche's home and got a better look at her, he had a change of heart.
Wow, she's even prettier than... No, I'd better not say it. I can't make her fall in love with a skunk. I'll just put this arrow away and go home.
As Cupid went to put the arrow away, though, he accidentally jabbed his finger with the arrow's tip. According to the magic arrow's rules, he was now sure to fall in love with the first person he saw. That person was the beautiful human, Psyche. It was his mother's worst nightmare, but he was never going to let her know. Instead, he set out to get help from his friend Apollo, the god of the sun and fortune-telling. It wasn't long before Psyche's big stream of marriage proposals dried up, almost like magic, you might say.
Well, I guess there is some justice in the world.
We both married princes, but our darling little sister hasn't landed anyone. Too bad. I'm all broken up about it.
Psyche's parents feared that the gods now hated their youngest daughter for some reason. So they, too, went to the god Apollo for help.
Your daughter's fate isn't a happy one. She's destined to be a bride of, well, a monster with wings who lives up on the top of the mountain. If you want the gods to be happy, you must leave her by the side of the mountain.
It wasn't true. Cupid had told Apollo to say those things, but Psyche's parents didn't know that. With broken hearts, they took her to the mountainside. As night fell, Psyche fought hard to keep up her guard, but the dark and cold were more than she could stand. A deep sleep fell over her. As she slept, a gentle wind magically picked her up and carried her to the hidden valley. When she woke up, she found herself on the steps of a huge golden mansion.
Where am I? Hello? Anybody home? Could someone tell me whose house this is?
This is your house, Psyche, and I'm the husband the gods have chosen for you. I love you, Psyche.
You're the monster.
Well, actually, I'm pretty okay looking, and I'm not a monster.
Then come out and let me see you.
No, I want you to love me for who I am and not who I look like, or what my family is. I'll come visit you at night when the house is dark. If you try to see me, this will be ruined, and we will have to go to our separate ways.
We gods can be a little shy around humans. We prefer to be known from afar, which can be a problem if you happen to be married to a human.
All right, husband, I have to trust what you say.
So the two lived quite happily in their new house. They talked all day, but Cupid didn't stop hiding himself from Psyche until night had darkened the house. Everything was going along amazingly well until Psyche began to miss her family.
Are you happy, sweet Psyche?
Yes, everything is quite lovely, but
But what? Let me know what's wrong, and I'll promise I'll fix it.
I want to see my sisters again. Could they come visit me here?
No, they'll ask too many questions.
But you already promised. Is your word meaningless?
All right, they can come, but don't tell them anything about me.
So it was arranged. Before long, the sisters were reunited.
Psyche, we thought you might be dead, but look at you living in this house. That husband of yours must be one rich monster.
Tell all, Psyche. By the way, where is your husband? Does that monster mistreat you?
He's not a monster. He's a young prince. He's away now, visiting his father, the king, on an important business.
Look at these jewels you have. What a collection.
Oh, my husband's been collecting jewels for years. Right now he's on an expedition to buy even more.
I thought you say that he was a young prince visiting his dad.
Well, he is sort of collecting jewels is his hobby, when he's not busy being a prince.
Her sisters could tell that Psyche was making up stories. They insisted on the truth.
I don't know the truth exactly. I know my husband is generous and kind, but I've never seen him.
You've never seen him?
I wish I could say that about my husband.
He won't show himself to me during the day. He says that we should not worry about appearances.
Listen, sister, who's to say you're not married to a bloodthirsty monster? He could eat you alive at any moment. You've got to find out who he is.
Tonight, when he's asleep, sneak over to him with a lamp and get a good look.
But make sure you have a dagger in your hand. That way you can protect yourself if he tries to attack you.
That night, Psyche did as her older sister suggested. She tipped over to her husband, got her dagger ready, then raised the lighted lamp over him.
It's Cupid. I married the god of love.
Her hand started shaking. The dagger fell from her trembling fingers, and a drop of hot lamp oil splashed on Cupid's shoulder. That was some alarm clock.
So you didn't listen to me. Well, now that you've seen me, goodbye.
No, wait, please.
In a flash, Cupid and the house were gone. Psyche found herself sitting in an empty field all alone, realizing what she had lost. She began to cry. Psyche wasn't the sort of person to sit around and feel sorry for herself. She searched high and low for Cupid, and finally learned that he had gone back to live at his mother's house. Psyche dreaded having to speak with the great goddess of beauty, but in the end, she went to the temple of Aphrodite to plead for Cupid's return.
Well, look who it is. Don't you think you've caused enough trouble already? Please, goddess, tell me where I can find my husband. I've got him locked up, safe and sound, so he can recover from that nasty burn you gave him. You're not good enough to be my son's bride anyway. Please, don't talk to me like that. Are you willing to take a few tests to see if you deserve him? Yes. Fine, here's the first test.
Aphrodite picked up 3 huge bags, each filled with a different kind of grain, and dumped them all out on the ground.
Now pick up each piece of grain and put it back in the bag it came from, and have all the grains picked up by sundown. Got it? Ha ha ha! Oh no, I'll never be able to get that done. I'll never get Cupid back.
Just then, a little ant heard Psyche